Next on the Broadway show, It's a Wonderful World. Tony winner James Monroe Iglehart is here to talk about playing Louis Armstrong.
Coming up next, I'm Charlie Cooper talking to Broadway's new Lady Larkin.
I can give you what it is you crave. A little something from the good old days.
In Hadestown, a song can change your fate. There's an exclusive musical performance for you from the Broadway.com studio. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is the Broadway Show. The Broadway Show gets bigger and better every week. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and you've come to the right place for the brightest stars, biggest shows, and amazing musical performances. Here we go. It's a Wonderful World. Tony winner James Monroe Iglehart is headed back to Broadway, playing Louis Armstrong in A Wonderful World at Studio 54.
During the pandemic, I was at home doing like everybody else, watching whatever Netflix binge shows you can, and I always wanted to watch Ken Burns' Jazz. So I told my wife, I said, let's watch it. The first 3 episodes were about Louis Armstrong. And I said, why has nobody made a musical about this? So I look it up, and they were working on it. So I called my agent and I said, hey, tell them I want to be a part of it anyway. Can I be a producer or something? And they were like, you want to be in it? And I was like, yes, I do.
James is a star. When you can't take your eyes off somebody on stage, he's riveting. He not only loves Louis Armstrong and has morphed into this role, but the fact that he trained to sound like him without damaging his voice, which is really important, that takes guts, but also dedication. I mean, those are real pros that said, not only am I going to play this role, but I will make sure that I bring the audience in on what made Louis special.
The story is told through the perspective of also his 4 wives, and we get a chance to explore his entire life, the triumphs, the failures, the challenges, the joys and highlights of his career against the backdrop of real life events and everything that he was for and against, and also things that he was criticized about and how he was able to navigate his way through that. We're going to learn a lot of information about his life over 70 years of time.
Jazz has a conversational element. Like musical theater, it's easy to tell the story through the lyric because the lyric it's straightforward, it's basic, anyone can connect to it. So I really enjoy the conversational aspect of connecting to the lyric of those beloved songs.
Jazz, it's been a catalyst for people to heal. It's been a catalyst for people to stop wars, which is something that happened during Louis Armstrong's life. It has been a catalyst for so many valuable changes in our society, bringing people together, mostly bringing people together.
As Black people being able to share the origins of this music with audiences, it gives me a great sense of pride to be able to sing something that's so familiar. Music that we grew up in our households listening to is now coming to this big stage and being shared with audiences. So we get to celebrate our legacy as African Americans in this country through this story, and I think that that's really important. And it also feels really great in the room to be able to be at home in this material.
It's so based in the human experience and relating us to each other. That's what art is, when you boil it down. And I think it's so raw in jazz, especially jazz of that era, coming straight out of the blues and ragtime and coming straight out of Pain and coming straight out of Beale Street and Bourbon Street and Basin Street and these places that were so wrought with tension that they had to have something beautiful come out of it. And that's what we get to recreate and tell the story of the birthing of. And that is what is so exciting to me, is that you get placed right back in the center of that mixing bowl of things.
I identify with him a lot. I identify with a guy who literally just wants to be on stage and play and really doesn't want to deal with the rest of the world. But as you grow up as an adult, you realize I have to adult. It's a part of life. I can't just play all the time. And when I figured that out about him, I was like, we have a lot in common. And it's been so much fun to get to play in that world. I mean, how often do you get to play in real jazz? And I'm not a jazzy guy. I became one, but now I'm like, this is it. So it's been so much fun to kind of like get in his head and watch the decisions that were good decisions and bad decisions. And those are the most fun, the bad decisions. You're like, wow, you really did that. And nobody told you not to. That's the great part. So I'm having a ball.
TV star Alyssa Milano is making her Broadway debut this fall in the Tony-winning revival of Chicago. She's playing Roxy Hart.
I saw Annie for my 7th birthday, and I looked to my parents and I said, that's what I want to do. Like less than a year later, I went for an open Annie audition, and there were 1,500 kids there and 4 were picked, and I was one of the 4. And so I toured with Annie for 18 months and then came off the road, did a bunch of off-Broadway, and then got Who's the Boss when I was 10. And I knew that there was nothing that made me as happy as singing and dancing. Even as a little kid, I used to do interpretive dance, very Fosse style in my living room to like Aaron Copland albums, and so I knew that that's what I loved. So it's really just getting back to that with doing Chicago, and that's been quite a revelation for me, is to feel that again, that enthusiasm for performing. When you step into an institution, you know that they've got it under control. And I knew that making my Broadway debut, it doesn't get any easier the older you get, but knowing that I was going to be supported through the professionalism and brilliance of the cast and the kindness of the cast. And so that made the idea of it less daunting, that I knew that I'd be okay and surrounded by people who could help me through the nerves, or the, help me get the steps or run lines or any of the things. My Roxy that I'm working on, I really love her. I have this thing that I've always only played characters that I could find something in to love. Even when I played like the villain, there was always something that I loved about her. And I think there's a lot to love about Roxy Hart.
Once Upon a Mattress is back on Broadway, the revival starring Sutton Foster, Michael Urie, and so many more. And here's Charlie Cooper.
Hi. Our new Lady Larkin.
Yes, I am.
Listen, we are so excited about this role for you in Once Upon a Mattress, and I'm walking you to work today.
Yes, let's go.
This show is so fun and ridiculous, and you guys just run with it.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your role and what you just love about it. What speaks to you?
I mean, it's just so silly. It's some of the funniest Broadway performers that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. A lot of them I've known from other projects. Will Chase and I have known each other since our Aida days, and we did understudy rehearsal together, and he worked with my husband on Billy Elliot, so we've been friends for over 20 years. But this is our first time working together and getting to do something together every night, and he's just so funny. And we all know each other. I've known Sutton for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Like Brooks and I did Promises together. Daniel Breaker and I did Book of Mormon together for 2 years, 3 years. So it's a lot of old friends coming together to make something new.
I saw on your Instagram that you were able to bring your daughters to opening night, which is so special.
Yes.
I want to know about how it feels to be a mom, knowing that like those little eyes are looking up at you.
Yes, it's their first Broadway opening, and it's so nice to be in a show that you don't have to like worry about, that's like appropriate for families and appropriate for kids. And they loved it so much. They've been drawing pictures, drawing pictures of me in costume and making me all of this, show-related art. And so to have them in opening was just so special, and to have them at the party and to be able to sort of celebrate this milestone with them has been really fun.
Your voice is just so lovely. And I want to know a little bit about, I guess, what your favorite song to sing in this show is, but also, are there any songs that you're bringing back home and singing to them maybe before bed?
Well, I always, lullaby time is my time to practice my material and make sure I know my words. So
strategic, I like that.
So in a little while, my daughters know all the lyrics. So in a little while, we get to sing it a couple of times in the show, so that's really fun. But Yesterday I Love You, I think, is my favorite one to actually sing.
Yeah. Nikki, of course, this is a classic, and we've seen it done time and time again. high school musicals doing it, high school shows. Tell me a little bit about that and the family friendliness of it.
Yeah, it's actually funny because when we come out of the stage door almost every night, 5 people are like, oh, I played Lady Larkin in high school, and they're bringing their kids to see the show.
How special.
Yeah, it's funny that none of the principals in the show have done it before, actually.
Really?
So this is all our first time doing the show with Amy Sherman Palladino's amazing additions to the script. But it's really fun to come out of the stage door and hear people's stories about how, oh, I met my husband doing the show in college, and now we're here with our kids. And their kids can enjoy the show too, which is really great.
This is a Broadway show, and we're back in just a few. Wicked is iconic, celebrating 2 decades on Broadway and beyond. And we've rolled out a brand new vlog over at Broadway.com. It's called Positively Emerald, and Mary Kate Morrissey plays Elphaba. Check out this preview.
Saturday night show, Saturday night on Broadway. And this is what I do before a show that's gonna be a little bit vocally challenging because it's the second one of the day. I take a ball like this, and I put it underneath my belly, my ribs. Can't really see it. And then I just sort of, it's so uncomfortable, but I just roll it up under my ribs and warm up a little bit. Blah, blah, blah.
For full episodes of the vlog, you can head over to Broadway.com. In Hadestown, a song can change your fate. The 2019 Tony Award winner for Best Musical sold one of Broadway's hottest tickets. Here's another exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
You boys, but if you're like me, been hanging around, this old manhole is bringing you down. 6 feet under, getting under your skin. Cabin fever is setting in. You're struck crazy, stuck in a rut. You can use a little picking me up. I can give you what it is you crave. A little something from the good old days. I got the winter right here in a jar. I got the rain on tap at the bar. I got sunshine up on a shelf. Allow me to introduce myself. Brother, what's my name? My name is
Our Lady of the Underground.
Brother, what's my name?
Our Lady of Ways, Our Lady of Peace.
Oh, brother, what's my name? My name is
Our Lady of the Upside Down.
Wanna know my name? I tell you my name, Persephone. Brother, let me guess. It's the little things you miss. Spring flowers, autumn leaves. Ask me, brother, and you shall receive. Or maybe these just ain't enough. Maybe you're looking for some stronger stuff. I got a sight for the sorest eyes. When's the last time you saw the sky? Wipe away your tears, brother. Brother, I know how you feel. I can see you're blinded by the sadness of it all. Just look a little closer, and everything will be revealed. Look a little closer, and there's a crack in the wall. you get an eyeful. You're on the move, yeah, I got her too. She's right here waiting in my pay-per-view. How long's it been? A little moonshine ain't no sin. Tell my husband to take his time. Well, the boss don't know, the boss won't mind.
Welcome back to the Moulin Rouge. Pop star JoJo is back in the hit musical starring as Satine. And she's got a new vlog for us over at Broadway.com called Sparkling Diamond Stories.
Just got a really cool stage door gift that I was not expecting. Can you see me in this light? All right, boom. So this is, it says, congratulations on returning to Moulin Rouge. Please enjoy the Hirschfeld Broadway Tarot. Oh, this is kind of fab. In collaboration with the Al Hirschfeld Foundation. That's neat.
For full episodes of the vlog, you can head over to Broadway.com. The Hills of California coming to Midtown Manhattan. The new play from Jez Butterworth is fresh off a run in London's West End. We got to know the stars.
I like to haunt an audience. I like them to wake up the next morning still thinking about the play, and maybe it stays with them, and maybe it's an image or maybe it's a line. And it's not a specific message that I'm trying to put across, except I know that my plays are steeped in love and loss, and the humor and the tears that attend those things in a really straightforward sense.
The joy of being involved in a Jez Butterworth play is that you are going to have your work cut out for you. You are not going to, be coming on and giving kind of a very one-dimensional performance, and so it's required of any of us from day one to really make ourselves vulnerable, put ourselves in the room, and just say, okay, let's give this everything, every ounce that I have of myself to this. You give over to the process, and you get rewarded in spades as a result.
It's about things that are universal. People's dreams of escape when they grow up in a poor area. Dreams of show business, dreams of California. Obviously the play is called The Hills of California, but spoiler alert, it's not set in California. It's about people who dream of going there. And there's something about that, whatever dream you have, that sort of slightly untouchable, unachievable goal, and one day you wake up and you realize you haven't done it. Or maybe in the family someone has, and in this case, one person has done it and the others haven't. And what that does to the family.
The first thing that struck me was how unusual it was to see 4 robust, in-depth characters that were all women. I just hadn't ever read a play like that. And also, then when we started rehearsals and I met the 3 other actors playing the sisters, there was an immediate rapport between us. It didn't take weeks and weeks to develop that. It was there, and that's just become richer. They've become very, very close friends. So I have Jez and Sam to thank for that.
The way America is portrayed in the show, it's so exciting for us. The Webb sisters dream of coming to America. And so it's really exciting for us to do that. And I'm excited for an American audience to see the kind of weird and wonderful ways in which America stands for. Like all the hotel rooms in the guest house are named for American states, because for us Brits, America just stands for dreams. It's just a sort of shorthand for it and for fulfilling your dreams. So it's exciting to bring that home.
It's not lost on any of us that these young girls and their mum in this play are shooting for the American dream. They want to make it in America, and the cost of that is beyond what any of them could imagine they'd be asked to pay. And I don't quite know how to articulate the moment, but I stood outside the theatre and I just thought about all of the time and energy and effort and sacrifice and joy and, all of the disappointments and the little wins along the way. And I just stood outside the theatre in Broadway and I was like, this is one of those moments, Leanne. This is one of those moments in your life. Don't forget it.
That's going to do it for us, but until next time, check out The Broadway Show Uncut wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.